the night before my audition. He wasn't playing Bond then. It was Pierce Brosnan. And we tied one on, and I wasn't in any fit state to do well in the audition the next day and didn't get the part. And other films, there was a great film that the Coen brothers directed called No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I know. No,
I got down to the last two for that Javier Bardem part.
You did not?
Yeah. And I got a call saying, because I was going to do Stardust with Matthew Vaughn.
Right.
And then I got a call from the Coen brothers saying, just hold on, because we're not sure Javier's dates are going to work.
Right.
And so I said to Matthew, Stardust, can I just hold on for the weekend? He went, no, you've got to accept the part now. And in the end, he relented. And I waited the whole weekend. Turns out that Javier's dates did work, and he played the part and won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And I went off and did the wonderful film with Matthew.
Virgin Radio.
Hey, good morning.
So you've been well and truly Braziled. How was that for you?
It was hilarious. Yeah, hilarious and random.
Right, so chaos. So this is what just happened. So it's like a shopping list of things that it's like a post-shopping list analysis of you sort of wheeling your filmography trolley up and down Alan Brazil's aisles. So Arsenal.
Yes, we talked Arsenal, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
We talk sport.
Because.
I'm a gooner.
Right, okay. What do you think about the decision over the weekend that the referees have said that Arsenal have to wear black? Because suddenly, after 100 years, the referees have noticed there's too much white on the pitch when Arsenal play Tottenham.
I know, although Tottenham have a lot of blue in their kit.
Yeah, I know.
So, I don't know what that's all
I don't know what's going on. Ian McKellan, obviously, we'll talk. That's to do with the film. So, Alan was almost on message there for a second. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he loves a film called Body of Lies.
Right, I've never seen Body of Lies.
Oh, it's a good film.
Should we watch it?
It's his favourite. He says he's watched it 140 times.
No, I've never heard of Body of Lies. Have you?
No. It's a Ridley Scott movie with me, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Russell Crowe.
No way.
Yeah. It's all set in the Middle East. It's a good film.
All right, out of 10, is it?
I think it's up there with an 8 or 9.
An 8 or a 9?
Yeah.
Okay, watching that this weekend. Literally, I will watch that this weekend. We have movie night, Friday night and Saturday night, me and my wife, and sometimes you spend too long looking for a film, and we panic about it, and then we choose the wrong film. It's a disaster. No longer. Body of Lies tonight. How his career is going to end, said Alan. Now, is that Alan's career? Because we know how Alan's career is going to end.
No, there was a sort of, what happens if you're out of work for too long? Do you lose your edge?
Right.
That was the question.
He went there?
Yeah.
That sounds like a grown-up question.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been out of work that long.
No,
so
of course, ever.
I've never lost my edge.
No, good. Nicely covered. So this movie, now we were given this encrypted link yesterday. It's so funny because you've got to send the password off, then the email, and then you think you're just about to get in, and they say, we need your phone number, we'll send you a different thing.
What's that for?
Just so that we can watch your movie.
Okay.
And means that we can't sort of, I don't know.
Oh, secretly, what do you mean? Before it's out?
Yes.
Thing, is it? Okay.
It's out today, but we need to watch it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, mate.
Oh, thank you.
This is a great film. It's called The Critic. It stars lots of people and everybody's fantastic in it. The cinematography is great. Everything is great. Costume's great. It's the perfect length. But it stars primarily yourself, Gemma Arterton, and C. Ian McKellan. Would you like to frame the story for us?
It's based around a very irascible theatre critic from the 1930s, played by Ian McKellan, in full flow. I play David Brooke, Viscount Brooke, who's the owner of the paper that he works for. Yeah. Jenna Arterton is an actress that he's continually cruel about. What happens is I take over the paper and decide the old guard, which Ian is one, should no longer be at the paper, and he gets fired, basically, because he commits an indiscretion, let's put it that way. Yeah. And then he cooks up, that's Ian's character, something with Gemma Arterton to blackmail me, the owner of the paper, so he can get his job back. It's brilliant. It's so brilliant. Because you think it's gentle, don't you? You think it's going to be a Sunday afternoon, a gentle watch with your mum or your granny or whatever. It just goes off the rails. It's got so a very dark thread running through it, yeah. But when you can punk up a gentle narrative, you talk about hoodwinking the audience. I had no idea what was going to happen. Oh, great, good. Oh, my gosh. That's always the best way. Right, so you three... absolutely. Also in it is Leslie Manville, who shouldn't be overlooked because she is a phenomenon. No, everybody's great in it. Well, I'm also working with her at the moment. We're doing we're rehearsing Oedipus. Yeah. So I had to give her a mention. Yeah, and you're off there next, aren't you? Yes. So you've been Braziled, Evansed, and then you have to go and rehearse Oedipus on a Friday in the sunshine. Yes. God bless you, Mark Strong. Mm-hmm. So working with McKellan, working with Arterton, all the fun.
Yeah, you all bring your A game. It's all the fun. What do you learn about yourself? How do you grow in such a situation? You're with one of the masters of your craft. You yourself are growing into a master, if you don't mind me saying that.
Oh, bless you. Well, cracking on now, of course.
What do you learn?
I mean, working with him is like being connected to theatre history. That's the truth of it. I mean, the Macbeth he did in the 70s with Judi Dench is still a seminal play. Everything he's done since, well, he's been 60 years in the business. So as a younger man working with somebody like that, you have access in a way to all of that. Gemma is the other side of the coin. She's just a fabulously beautiful, intelligent, lovely, warm person.
She was on the show last week talking about
great
something
to
else.
work with. I mean, she's gorgeous.
She mentioned she had a film coming out, and because she just mentioned it, we thought, oh, that'll be nice. She's obviously got a part in this film. Didn't realise, A, it was such a great film, B, she had such a big part. She sort of just mentioned it in passing, didn't she, last week?
She's so good in it as well. So good.
Because she has that thing where she's got to play a rubbish actress.
Yeah. From the 30s and do that slightly stilted acting.
Yeah, and then get good all of a sudden overnight.
Yeah.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah. Well, you learn, every job you do, you learn from, you know. And Anne Tucker, who directed it, illustrious directed it, Hilary and Jackie, Girl with a Pearl Earring way back, and he just knows his stuff. I recommend people going to see it.
Oh, mate, it's so good. You're also good in it. Your character, Viscount Brooke, not Beaver Brook, Viscount Brooke, I felt really sorry for him.
It's a wonderful character. It's adapted from a novel by a guy called Anthony Quinn, who used to be the film critic for The Independent.
Yeah.
Adapted by Patrick Marber, who's an extremely fine writer, but he created that character. My character doesn't exist in the original novel. And I don't get to play parts like that. He's sympathetic. He's
vulnerable.
Kind. He's vulnerable.
He's fallible.
Yes.
He's weak. He wants to be strong. He could be strong if he gets a decent break, but it's just never going to happen for him.
He's a fascinating character, and I don't get to play those parts.
He's inherited everything and nothing.
Yeah. And he's got to take that and make something of his paper, and you can just tell he's not really up to it.
The paper's only chance is the guy who's never going, and I'm saying too much. Oh my gosh. Now Alan was saying, how will your end manifest itself? And I was thinking not the same thing, but the opposite of that, because of you never stop blooming working, Mark Strong. Is that you're always in demand. People, I'm losing count of your films. When you first started coming on the show, he's been in this, he's been in that, he's been in that. But since then, you've been in so many other movies.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a gap?
Well, no, not really. I mean, and I like to work. I've never been a sort of sit at home, wait for the one that might win you an award, or spend 2 years out of work and wait for that one.
Yeah.
Some people do that. They'll plan their career, and in a hop, skip, and a jump, they're suddenly
I can afford to wait.
Winning awards. Yeah. That's never been my thing. My thing is I love the job, so I'll always I think Colin Firth once described it as the next best thing on the menu.
Right.
So if there's a few things that come up, and I'm lucky enough to be in a position where there are a few things offered, you basically choose the one that you want. Maybe it's different from the one you're doing now. Maybe it's because it's people you want to work with. I've just been lucky like that. And my boys, they're interested in becoming actors, and it's hard. I try and explain to them that it's not a meritocracy. Just because you really want to do it, and even if you're really good, there's still no guarantees. You're always reliant on somebody else deciding that they want you. And I don't know why I've moved into that lane, but luckily I have.
What do you think it is? Is it primarily, I mean, you are the complete package, but was it the voice first? Was it the stern, the sort of the aquiline nose first? Was it the tough guy thing? Was it the vulnerable tough guy thing? What was it what people first tapped into?
I don't know. That's interesting. You should say that, because when I started, obviously, when I was a teenager, you play all those young parts, in the young Shakespeare type Ferdinand in The Tempest or Romeo, those sort of parts. Yeah. And then my hair fell out.
Right.
And I thought it was all over. And actually what happened is the parts became more interesting.
Wow.
So suddenly you could play different parts. And I remember there was a part I was going for, I had to be very mean. And they thought that I couldn't be, because he's too nice. You go in for an audition. That's the weird thing with the director. And you're
gorgeous as well.
Oh, bless you.
No, but you are. You're beautiful.
Well, no, but when you're with a director and they're trying to cast you as some mean evil and you're having a lovely chat like this, it's hard for them to see that. So often you're fighting that in auditions. But anyway, I got this part eventually of this mean guy. And then suddenly I got loads of mean guy parts. So that's sort of what kicked me off. And then I played a spy, and then suddenly I got loads of spy parts. So,
but this one, he's so still, isn't he, Viscount Brooke?
well, that's what's different.
He's so still, and he's so sad.
Yeah.
And you can see the sadness in the stillness. He's stoically sad.
Yeah,
if you can be.
But that's that character. You know, you're playing a Viscount in the 1930s. The interesting thing was I had to just pull my accent back a bit. So instead of talking like that, which was probably how they would have all chatted in the 1930s, that was too much. So I just had to do a sort of general posh accent. But you have to think about that guy. You know, his father was obviously a really powerful individual.
He was the biggest of all the cheeses.
And you're the guy coming in, taking over, trying to G everybody up, going, come on, everyone, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But inherently, the guy is, I don't think he wants to be running a paper. He wants to be going to the theatre and watching the beautiful Gemma Arterton do her thing.
And he had the depth. He had the depth of empathy and understanding and need for art that the theatre can provide.
Yeah, that the paper probably doesn't.
Oh God, not for a second. Oh my gosh, I was going to ask you about your voice because this week we were talking about Barry White and we were talking about somebody else. Barry White and there was somebody else. Oh, James Earl Jones, who sadly passed away this week.
Yeah.
One of the greatest voices, great actor, great voice actor. Darth Vader, Mefusa, and your voice is obviously a signature voice. When did it become like that?
I don't know. I used to smoke.
Right.
You know, from 20 to 40, you know, I used to smoke.
All right, but when you were in school play,
Not that I would recommend that if you want to have a sort of...
Some people do and some people have, but for that particular reason. But when was it this voice? Can you remember?
I don't know. I do remember when I was younger doing sort of theatre, when I first started out, they talk about the older actors having a mellowed instrument.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it basically just meant as you get older, I think your voice gets a bit warmer. But I don't know. It's where your voice sits. You know, some people are very nasal and their voice is up there, and some people are very...
Yeah.
It's just wherever it sits.
Oh my God, you just went deeper.
It's wherever it sits.
How low can you go, Strong?
Hey, I can go that low.
Oh my gosh.
Not as low as James Earl Jones.
Can you, what's the earliest thing I can go and watch today of you in a movie where you don't have this particular, as your register isn't this low as before?
Good question. I don't know. Maybe if you go back to, I don't know, Prime Suspect. I did Prime Suspect with Helen Mirren back in the day. I was in my 20s.
No, see, it'd still be on the way then, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Do you remember the day your voice broke?
It
doesn't break, does it?
I don't remember.
That's a moment that doesn't exist, isn't it?
Well, it does. You do that sort of thing. Suddenly you're talking and live.
Yeah, but it's still over a couple of weeks, a few weeks, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like overnight.
I'm just trying to think of my boys when theirs broke and whether it was noticeable. We didn't really notice it.
Didn't notice it.
No.
There's a lot of smoking in this film. We had Kate Winslet on the show talking about her film that's out today, Lee, which is a great...
Yeah, no, I've heard. It's brilliant.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Both these films are, like, honestly, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, however you want to mark it.
I was listening to something about a documentary about her life. Absolutely fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
What
You've watched the documentary?
No, somebody was talking about it and was talking about her... history and what she'd done.
Oh, like ridiculous story. But loads of smoking. And we talked to her about her Kate's current smoking on film. And she says it's all herbal cigarettes. Yeah. Ian gives it a good go. Everybody smokes in this film, don't they?
Well, they did in the 30s. Everybody did. It was considered fashionable.
No, everybody smoked. My mum's generation smoked. She was 13, 14 during World War II. And she said, we just smoked because I don't know why we smoked. It calmed us down. It took the edge off. We know that it's accentuated breathing. That's why it does calm people down, I suppose.
But wasn't it also aspirational as well? That cigars were always considered to be a sign of affluence. And then you had cigarettes, these little ones that you smoked more regularly.
Cigarillos, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The Strand Man. Doctors used to smoke, didn't they?
Yes.
Profoundly.
Yeah. I mean, there was an ad, wasn't there, for Crave and A, and the tagline was "Good for your throat."
How much did you smoke on set? It's so funny, isn't it?
Well, in this play, I've got to smoke. Actually, I play a character who's...
What are the rules? What's the law with the smoking in the theatre? What goes on?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe there has to be a disclaimer or...
Right.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, there's a fire person in attendance. I think there is for every performance anyway. Not just because of the cigarettes. I think there is anyway. They're herbal. They'll be herbal.
Yeah.
And
do you enjoy them?
No, because it was so hard to give up when I gave up.
Right.
That,
we were all smokers, weren't we?
Yeah.
Who wasn't a smoker? I smoked. You smoked, didn't you, Vass? Jane, do you smoke? They didn't smoke. Hey, now? You're still only 12.
Never.
Yes, smoking's sort of been uninvented, hasn't
Vapes.
it?
They're doing vapes. That's probably what they're doing.
Yeah, they're vaping. Vape away, my friends. So Oedipus, what's going on with Oedipus? I mean...
Oedipus is... it's a play I've been trying to get off the ground for quite a while.
Are you in charge?
Well, no, Robert Icke, the director, wrote it.
Right.
And is directing it, but we were going to do it before COVID.
Right.
And then COVID happened.
BC.
So we've been waiting ever since then. And it's basically a modern dress, 2-hour-long, no interval play set on the eve of an election, which is quite prescient, where this guy who has got the world at his feet, and like all good Greek tragedies, over the next 2 hours finds his whole world falling apart. You basically watch the car crash in slow motion as he realises that he killed his father and slept with his mum.
How good? But theatre has to be so good nowadays. I mean, it's always had to be really good.
Yeah.
But it has to be so good nowadays,
I'm confident
doesn't it?
We'll be good. We've got a
it
great
sounds
cast.
great, man.
No, and Leslie Manville is playing Jocasta, and June Watson, in her 80s, is playing Merope, the mother. They are brilliant. And we're a couple of weeks off of opening it.
Right.
4th of October it opens, first preview. And then the press night is 15th of October.
Okay, how
we
you
play to
feeling?
January. Feeling sort of nervous. I mean, theatre is fear management. A bit, Will my old head remember all these lines?
Is it that for everyone? Or just some people
Pretty
eat
much
it up,
everyone.
don't they?
You've got to be nervous. You've got to be nervous on a first night, otherwise it's not normal.
Right.
That's the thing that drives you. And, I mean, it's 65 pages and I go off for 2 of them. So I'm on stage all the time.
What do you do with your 2 pages off?
I'm going to have a cup of tea. That's what I'm going to have. I'm going to
Not a fag. You're going to have a cup of tea.
Yeah, definitely not a fag.
Cool. So because you're always busy, there will be things that you miss out on that your agent gets a call on, and you think, well, that's the rub of the green. You've obviously made that deal with yourself, which I think is so cool. It's not about what you haven't got; it's about what you have got. I mean, the bonds and the other. Have you ever passed like ships in the night?
Yeah, I mean, the deal with the agent, just to say, is they don't tell you what you're asked about. If you're working and an inquiry comes in, they don't tell you. That's the deal. So you don't spend the whole job going,
that's not all agents,
oh
though, is
my
it?
God, I could have been doing that.
I know.
No, that's the deal.
That's a very wise agent, isn't it? How long have you been with your agent for?
Oh, years.
And that's
decades.
why. That's why, my friend. Right, but anyway, carry on. I interrupted.
Bond I got near to. Right. I mean, there's a story out there, which I've told before, about the fact that I was out with Daniel Craig, who's a good mate of mine, the night before my audition. He wasn't playing Bond then. It was Pierce Brosnan. And we tied one on, and I wasn't in any fit state to do well in the audition the next day and didn't get the part.
What was the part?
It was I can't remember.
Which was the film?
Toby Stevens played it in the end, and he was the villain, and I can't remember the name of the film. It was a long time ago.
Were you going to be a villain or the villain?
The villain in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, maybe Vassos. Maybe you could look up what the film was with Toby Stevens in.
We're all Bond fans, aren't we?
But that's not to say that I was going to get the part. It's just that I messed up the audition, and
tied one on.
Largely Daniel Craig's fault.
North London?
What about North London?
Was it in North London when you tied one on?
Oh, could well have been. Or somewhere in town. Somewhere in town, I don't know.
What a laugh.
And other films. There was a great film that the Coen brothers directed called No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I know.
I got down to the last 2 for that Javier Bardem part.
You did not?
Yeah. And I got a call saying... because I was going to do Stardust with Matthew Vaughn.
Right.
And then I got a call from the Coen brothers saying, just hold on, because we're not sure Javier's dates are going to work.
Right.
And so I said to Matthew, Stardust, can I just hold on for the weekend? He went, no, you've got to accept the part now. And in the end, he relented. And I waited the whole weekend. Turns out that Javier's dates did work, and he played the part and won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And I went off and did the wonderful film with Matthew Vaughn. But that was a close call.
Oh, my gosh. Gustav Graves?
Gustav Graves in...
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day, there you go.
Wow.
That was, Debbie McWilliams was there. I think it was... I can't remember who the director was, but anyway, there was a whole kind of what I call the great sofa of no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The great sofa of
whole bunch of people sitting on a sofa looking at you. And... I just wasn't in any fit state to do a proper audition.
That's funny, man. And did they know? Because that could go either way. I mean, you could be so loose, you could be so careless that you actually...
I can't do that. I have to be on it. And I'd learnt it as well, and that was the thing. I
Oh,
got up there,
no.
started, forgot the lines, went, oh, sorry, can I start again? Did it, forgot it again. And then they went, do you want the script? And I went, I don't need the script. Started again, got it wrong, did it
How
with
did you
the
feel
script.
for the rest of the day after that?
Terrible. I felt terrible for weeks.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
It's funny that, isn't it?
Well, you got to be professional, you know. You got to at least, even if you don't get the part, you got to go in there and do your job.
Yeah.
And I was just a bit flippant about it.
Yeah, but without that, you don't get where you are because we're exactly where we're meant to be. And that would have been a sliding doors. More than a sliding doors.
True. That's true.
Was that pre?
Pre everything, pretty much.
pre
Yeah. It was
everything?
quite a long time ago.
Wow.
Good.
Mark, I love you so much. I really do. I think you're great.
I love coming on. My only regret is that we don't get to chat all day.
No, I know. But what are you doing this weekend? Do you have the weekend off or are you working?
We're rehearsing on Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to be hoping that the Arsenal manage to do the job at Tottenham.
All right. And how far ahead are you booked up? Not that I've got anything for you, but
Well, the play runs through to January, but there's a couple of interesting things that's have already come up for next year, which might
movies
might be interesting. Yeah, a couple of movies.
Might be interesting.
yeah.
Do you audition at all ever still or not?
Not
Are you
anymore.
over that?
I don't have to anymore because kind of there's
'Cause
so
all
much
that-
out there.
I can do this. I can do that.
Yeah.
What haven't you done that you?
Well, with Viscount Brooke, you see, I've done it all now. Now I've done Vulnerable.
Right.
So if they go, we've never seen you being vulnerable, I go, actually, you can see me being vulnerable now. Just go out and watch The Critic.
I know you've been villains before. Have you been demonic? Tyrannical?
Yes, I've been Frank D'Amico in Kick-Ass.
No, that'd do it.
Who
Yeah,
was
we
like
were going
a
to
real-
watch Kick-Ass the other day. We were just about to watch Kick-Ass, and then Tash said, I can't remember, she dropped a Rotten Tomatoes bomb right on my head.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up watching something else. I think it was...
I think Kick-Ass has good Rotten Tomatoes, though, doesn't it?
No, great, no. We were on, and she just something else happened. Don't worry, we're on board with Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2 or 3 or whatever it is. But I think we ended up watching The Florida Project. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Brilliant.
One of
With
the
Willem
great
Dafoe.
Yes.
Or the Florida.
Yes.
Yeah, you have.
Florida Project.
Brilliant.
Off the chain.
That's way more arty, you see. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Kick-Ass, though, Frank D'Amico was a New York mob
All right,
boss.
so what I'm doing this weekend, I'm doing Kick-Ass and I'm doing the Leo DiCaprio film.
Body of Lies.
Body of Lies. I'm sorted.
Okay.
You don't have no idea what a relief that is because picking a film nowadays.
Okay.
Is
Forget Rotten Tomatoes. Just
Forget-
hear it from the horse's mouth.
All right, the horses, tomatoes. All right, thank you, Mark Strong. Mark Strong's film, The Critic, in cinemas today with Gemma Arterton, Ian McKellan, and Leslie Manville, and loads of other wonderful people being as good as they can be.
Virgin